Dee Dee, please lead us to the prayer.
Thank you. Gracious Lord, we pause after Easter to give you thanks for the resurrection that brings us new life to remove intolerance, hatred, new life to take the second mile for people, new life to turn the other cheek, new life to begin a new road and a new venture, new life to feed new fish to people, new life to do so many things. Help us, our Father, to roll away our stones of death and doubt and despair and discouragement and see in you the opportunities for a new day like the beautiful day is today. Go with us and guide us in our hope, in our resurrection life, regardless of where we come from and who we are. Help us through not only through our offices of elected and selected positions, but in our everyday living, to be a joy to others, to be a life to others, and to be a blessing as you have indeed blessed us in your living and giving of your death. We pray these thoughts in your precious and holy name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Dee Dee. Sheriff Ripple, would you lead us in the pledge, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation,
under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Sheriff. This county commission meeting will come to order. Chris, the first item, please.
We have the acceptance of the minutes from the April 10th, 2019 meeting.
Okay, move the commission accept the minutes as presented.
I second. And I'll concur. The next item, please.
We also have the acceptance of the minutes from the April 16th, 2019 laying of the levy meeting.
Move the commission accept the minutes as presented.
I second that. And I'll concur. And the next item.
We have exonerations 2019-132 through 2019-151 presented by the assessor.
Pursuant to the recommendations of the assessor and prosecuting attorney, we is present to sign exonerations.
I second. And I'll concur. Next item.
We have an order confirming and ratifying the fiduciary supervisor's report of claims and settlement reports in the following estates: Fleming, Caffey, Nicholson, Zanier, Sickles, Bragg, Fluharty, McLaughlin, Conway, Edgell, Satterfield, Miller, Shaw, Callahan, Strait, Stetz, Swigert, Fink, Bruce, Compton, Wilson, Ice, and Barth. And this requires signature of the commission as well as the clerk.
Is there anybody here today with any objections to these orders confirming and ratifying the fiduciary supervisor's report of claims and settlement reports?
Okay, no objections, move that the commission sign the order.
I'll second. And I'll concur. Next item, Chris.
We have confirmation of probate of wills by clerk and vacation in the following estates: Ayers, Bradford, Hughes, Butcher, Campbell, Demas, Dodd, Efall, Elliott, Fazio, Ice, Jones, Joy, Lumen, Merrill, Minor, Richardson, Ruggiero, Swearingen, Toothman, Urim, Villers, Warsh, and West. And this also requires the signature of the commission as well as the clerk.
Is there anybody here today with any objections to these confirmation of probate of wills?
No objections, and move that the commission sign the order.
I'll second. I'll concur. Next item.
We have an order filing petition and setting a hearing date for the estate of Francis Noel Stern, deceased. This order sets this hearing date for May 8th at 10:30 a.m. and requires the signature of the commission as well as the clerk.
The commission sign the order.
I'll second. I'll concur.
We have an order rescheduling a contested hearing in the matter of the estate of Maxine Sikovich and Meighen Sikovich Sr. This order sets this hearing date for May 22nd at 10:45 a.m. And this also requires a signature of the commission as well as the clerk.
Move the commission sign the order.
The next item?
We have for the record requests for reimbursement for or from the West Virginia Division of Justice and Community Services from January, February, March of 2019, and those are all for the record.
For the record. Next item?
We have the reappointment of Michael Angelucci to the ICES Run Public Service District.
Okay, I move the commission reappoint Mike Pumphrey to the ICES Run Public Service District.
Then I'll concur and thank Mike for serving on the Public Service Commission. Next item.
We have for the record the Valley Falls Public Service District reconciliation summary for the period ending 2/28/2019.
That's also for the record. Anything else, Chris?
No, sir.
Okay, Chris, I think we have a couple people signed up today.
Yes, we do. J. Darby Clayton, Beverly Elder,
Okay.
Mike Pumphrey, a couple people here.
Yeah, let's, I think there's someone here representing, I think, let's just say it's the SWAT program, and we'd like to hear from you first, if we could, please.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, I gave you a handout out there. I'm sure you all have that, and I've laid some extras here on the tables as well. The SWAT program is Safety with Action Today that started by Governor Jim Justice. He was wanting to get a program started where citizens could put in concerns about roads in their areas and get timely responses. And that's exactly what the program is. I work with the program at the district headquarters in Bridgeport. I coordinate with Charleston. There's many ways that you can lodge a concern, which is either in person, by phone, website. I did give you a printout on that you can put on your website on how to use that to file a concern. Once I get those concerns from Charleston, I go through, I put them in a database, which I maintain here at district, and keep track of all of those and make sure they're answered in a timely fashion to make sure the citizens has an answer, as well as Charleston, so they can close out the case. And our time frame right now is 6 business days, where the governor requires 7. So we're meeting that goal as well. I take care of many things with this program at the district, and I did outline those in the handout that you have. If you have any questions for me, I'd be glad to answer those. And like I said, the second handout is the steps to use the website. And it's fairly simple. It's mainly filling in the blanks and hitting submit. So that's basically the program.
Well, appreciate you coming out here to Marion County and explaining to us what you do in this program. For the ones that don't know it, the district that you take care of is District 4, which is comprised of 6 counties. And that's Darby, Harrison, Marion, Taylor, Monongalia, and Preston counties.
Yes.
And it's a great program, awareness of what needs to be done and where it needs to be fixed is that's everybody's question, you know. And
Exactly.
being able to have a place to contact you through this SWAT
Program.
the SWAT program, and a little different than what we have advertised on the front of here. We're trying to combat litter, but both of them I think are very important to us here in Marion County. But we thank you for coming. I don't know if anybody has any questions, but
Thank you.
it is a good program. We appreciate you coming out today. Thank you.
Sure.
I would like to
Right,
introduce
right, next guest.
the next three guys here that let me back up a minute and tell you that Chris and Ernie and Rick and I attended a meeting in the District 4 Department of Highways here about 10 days ago. We learned a lot. It was an hour and a half long meeting. And the condition of our secondary roads are primary right now with what's going on, and it's just been one of those winters where it caused a lot of damage and a lot of water on the road, which caused a lot of problems. And we were fortunate enough to hear from Darby Clayton, Michael Pumphrey, and Michael Cronin, who are here today representing from District 4 in Marion County. And at the end of the meeting, they said, is there anything we could do? And we said, well, how about coming out to the counties? How about coming up to Marion County and let us know what's going on and give us an update? Show us what's happening. People want to see, where you at. And my question was, when and where? When are you going to start and where are you going to start? That doesn't make a difference for me as long as you start somewhere. And they have a list of the Marion County project list summary, which have given me several copies of. We'll make that available to people that want to see what I asked. And they took the hard questions and they advise us that they are shorthanded, but they're getting things done. These winters in West Virginia are always tough, but it's good to know that someone's out there getting something done. So I would ask if Darby, if you'd like to come up and say a few things, or Michael, or we can ask a few questions, or maybe explain what this handout comprises. I know it's prepared, I think, by Mr. Cronin there, if he wants to come up, and he's the maintenance engineer with District 4.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate the opportunity to be here. Also, I have my construction engineer, Jason Nelson, here. We stepped in right at the buzzer to get here, so if we've got questions, and any questions about the construction projects we have going on, we can handle too. I'm going to let our design engineer, Mike Pumphrey, talk about the paving projects that we have coming up. So we'll let him go over that list first. That's the list that you have there.
Thank
If
you.
there's any questions, we'll answer them as we go.
Appreciate it. And again, appreciate you coming here today. Really do.
So I'll start out with that this list here is the projects that are scheduled for 2019, and this is from our annual funding programs, be it federal money, state money. This is what, out of that allotment we get every year. These are the projects that we have programmed for this year. So I'll just start, when you see A13, that's state money, that's state funded projects. We divide those up into spring allotments and summer allotments. So you'll see the couple projects here that Marion County gets from that. We have a Fed Aid program, so Paw Paw Creek Road, that's a project that's going to be funded through federal dollars. That's 80% federal and a 20% match. You'll see the B20 program, that is our state force or PO paving. That's where we actually our maintenance crews goes out, repairs the roads, fixes the potholes, does all the ditching, and then contractors come through and they're actually just laying down the asphalt. Whereas the other programs I just mentioned, those are full construction plans that we develop in-house, where the contractor does everything, fixing the road, the shoulders, the ditching, the paving. So I just wanted to clarify that. And then the next program you'll see here is Wave B, D7. You'll see listed a couple projects. That funding was special funding. That was from before the bonds were actually sold. The DMV fee increase, the car sales tax, and the gas tax. As that money was coming in, that would eventually go towards paying the interest on the bond. As that money was coming in, the governor infused each district with $1.84 million to do some PO paving. So that was a boost that every county got, and Marion County got a couple out of that. And then we have the interstate funds that we get each year. And so with that in Marion County, we'll be doing East Park Avenue to East Fairmont on I-79. So for this year, with our 2019 program, we'll be paving 19.45 miles. The next rows you'll see down, I have them entitled 2018 carryover projects. There was so much work last year and so much rain last year that a lot of our projects couldn't get completed just due to the inclement weather. And so we actually have 38.22 miles of last year's program that's got to be completed this year by June 14th. So the contractors are very, very busy right now. So grand total, and you'll notice the total miles down here says 56.8. If you look up on the Way B Part 7, I skipped adding the mileage in for Hillcrest Road. So it's actually 56.67 miles of paving that's scheduled for this year out of our normal program. Now, the secondary road program that you hear the governor talking about, that's not shown on this list. We're making all the finalizing that list, so that's not shown here. This is just what our normal program is bringing you guys. So you're looking at 56.67 miles of paving this year, just in Marion County.
Appreciate that. I see a lot of them on here that in desperate need, especially Mandy Chapel Road, which was a disaster, but it's good to see the familiar places that although we don't have anything to do with repairing highways and roads or filling up potholes, we certainly, our constituency is concerned about what's happening, when it's happening, so we get a lot of calls. And it's good to see the ones that I've heard about that people brought to my attention that are on this list. And again, you made it clear that these are the projects, not the secondary road fix and pothole. That's, let's talk about that for a minute, if we could. I know after attending the meeting that that's something that you asked us to help identify the roads, and just about every road secondary road in Marion County has been mentioned, one way or the other. And a lot of them do need a lot of work done. As I explained when I went to the meeting, I actually drove across several of them for 2.5 hours in the north end of the county just to see, and they're all about some are better than others, but they all need attention. And I know it's overwhelming to have that much ahead of you, but what do you propose, or how do you propose to get started with that, and when do you think that might start?
Well,
Or has it already started?
We have our, initially the governor gave our guys 72 hours to come up with a list. They come up with the list, we're reviewing it now, and there are projects that we're trying to get out that are scheduled to be completed by June 30th of this year. So the rush is on to try to get those projects out. We're working on that right now and finalizing our list and making any corrections to that.
The preparation work of that has already started, the ditching and the patching and all in various areas, all across District 4. I mean, we've not just here in Marion County, not just in Preston County, but to meet that June 30th deadline that we've been imposed, we've already started. That's our top priority, to get a certain percentage of that list, the top priorities on that list, ready to be paved and be completed by June 30th. Or if it's a slide repair or whatnot, just depends on the type of work that came in on that. Like I say, they're still securing funding. We're not sure exactly what we're going to get for this first part of that to be done by June 30th. And then there'll be another wave following it that'll have to be completed by the end of the year. So I wish I could tell you more, but that's really all we know right now.
But you are in Marion County now doing some of this preparation work and that sort of thing.
As soon as we got the guidance or got the direction, we started getting these projects ready to go. I mean, the paving projects here are a priority, but this secondary road stuff is also a priority to move forward with.
Has there been any more thought given to maybe using private paving contractors to fill in the gap because of the shortage of manpower that you have, that you indicated us when we were over there? I just wonder if that's ever going to be a possibility. You take experienced pavers, some of the smaller ones. I already talked to one. They'd be more than interested in talking to the state about doing that. And if they were paid by the ton, then the more they got done. And their experience, they got years of experience with blacktopping and paving. And if you gave them a certain area and come up with a pay per ton, no one could get hurt. They would fill in the potholes, and if they did 10 or 20 tons a day, then that's what they get paid for. I just wonder if there's any thought, is that a possibility, or would that take additional funding, or any chance of that happening?
Yes to all of that. I guess would be the simple, quick and dirty answer.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, any small contractor is eligible to apply and become a contractor and go through the pre-qualification process and everything like that. I'm sure those parameters might still have to apply. I know they're working on a purchase order mechanism or a purchase order contract for contracting some of that work out with these contractors. It's in the works, sir. I can't exactly tell you where it's at. I know there's a meeting. If that contractor's interested, there's a pre-bid meeting in May 6th or 7th, and I'm sorry I can't give you the exact date, down in Charleston at the Cultural Center, that I know like 300 contractors have said they're going to attend already. So I'm sure there's information out there about that. I just found out about that yesterday, and I do not have the exact date, but it's May 6th or 7th. at the Cultural Center in Charleston for patching work, for ditching work.
That's what I was talking, the patching and ditching.
Yes, sir.
If they want to get more information or contact someone locally, who would they contact in District 4 to get to know what to do?
You are asking the hard questions today, aren't you? I
I get asked the same questions.
I've exhausted all the knowledge I know of that particular subject right now, sir, and you called me out on it. Like I say, I'm trying to get that from the commissioner, and I'm sure if he contacted the commissioner of highways, there in Charleston, they would have a little bit more about it, but, if I get that information, I can forward it back to Chris or back to you guys.
The big contractors, the J.F. Allens and the ones that do the contract and build on these big jobs, that's one area. But the potholes and the ditching, the cleaning up of the smaller secondary roads, it could be another whole different issue. These smaller contractors are, again, they got years of experience. I know that they can fix them properly, and if they're paid, I think about a ton, then everybody's happy. You're getting the work done, and they're getting paid by what they put down, as opposed to just going out there and bidding on a section of road. Hard to bid potholes. You can fill them up, but it'd be kind of difficult to do. But I know that there's an interest in them doing that, and I'll give them all the information I can, and maybe they can sort the thing out for the smaller contractors to be able to get involved somehow to help out. Because it's several amount of how you get to everything you do. Let me tell you that I saw here last week, they started paving, I'm from Mannington, they started paving in front of the bank on Route 250, it's a flat run, which is a few miles. And it was brought to my attention that when they took a couple of days to do it, that the former mayor was a real good friend of mine, said that's the smoothest, best job I've ever seen blacktop done in my life. And that's saying something for a guy that's 70 years old. Well, I went out there and I drove up, and I couldn't agree more. Whoever that contractor was the best I've ever seen. I've never seen it that smooth, no ripples, no. You see somebody put down new blacktop on 250, and it's wavy and runny, but this was absolutely flat as a pool table, and I couldn't believe how and why. They gained another foot or two on each side, and they repaired the bridge there flat right to where they stopped. But excellent job. But that's nice, and it's good to see that, and the quality of the work was there. But again, the main concern of the people in Marion County that live on the secondary roads is what's going on. And I saw last night on, I'm not a big person on Facebook, and I don't post stuff, but I kind of look and see what's out there, and they were complaining about a few roads that were close to me, where I live. And they're in terrible shape. I'm talking big potholes there, but again, after driving around for 2.5 hours, I saw lots of that. It's just the condition of what happens in the winters, but that's a concern. The great job on that. Attention needs to be focused, I think, on the secondary roads, and I think that's where the big issues lie.
I have a question on the roads to prosperity. I don't know how much exactly was dedicated to Marion County. What was the total amount statewide? Was it $1.8 billion or?
Just on the roads prosperity, you're talking the geo bonds, the GARI
Right.
bonds, and everything, it was 2.8
Billion.
when you combined everything. And that was also the turnpike fees on that, which not all that money goes. The turnpike fees, that was just the adjacent counties around the turnpike. But all told, it was supposed to be, 2.8 billion.
Yeah, and I'm not sure what the amount here for Marion County was, but has anyone at the state level given any thought to maybe perhaps changing some of their roads that they had proposed initially to maybe redoing some secondary or main transportation roads in the county instead of doing some of the bigger projects?
Well, that is something that the governor has been saying, of taking a certain portion from the Roads of Prosperity program. They're looking at a certain portion from the rainy day fund. Right now, I know they're working feverishly, seeing where they can pull the funds to put some of the, obviously, focus on the secondary roads program.
Well, I'd be in all favor of that as well.
I'm glad you answered that like that, because I was going to say that that's way above our pay grade, and they're working out that as we go along.
And that is a touchy subject, because some feel you shouldn't be taking from the Roads of Prosperity, and
Well,
there's
in my
also the need
opinion,
for the secondary roads.
I wouldn't want to take a lot of money from it just to put patch potholes. If we want to take money from them, it'd be better to redo certain sections of road, or like 250s and stuff in the main roads, and some of the more traveled roads, if they take them down and repair them correctly. really, we do need interstates through here, and I'm sure we need new bridges. It looks like we may talk about replacing 5 bridges, 4 or 5 bridges, to add 1 lane to the South Fairmont exit. But maybe our money would be better spent to, when you get off those interstates, you have to be able to drive, and it's tough right now. Yeah, so I wish that they would address, maybe take a look at that. But I don't agree that you should patch potholes with the money. Just a waste of time or a waste of money.
Just everything I've read, it sounds like they will be taking some of it, but that was yesterday's news.
We'll have to see.
We'll have to see.
Be sure you go with that, that was Mike Pumphrey.
It's on TV, someone will
We certainly appreciate you guys coming out. It means a lot to come to get outside the district office, come in the county and let everybody know what's going on. It's been very informative in my opinion. Appreciate your time and information. We'll distribute, I know you gave me 12 or 13 copies of the areas here, and we'll hang on to one apiece, and then we'll let other people know through the press what's going on, let you know you're making a presence here in Marion County as well as the rest of the county you represent. But we thank you and for the update, and you're welcome back anytime. We might ask you to come back again as we get going again here pretty good and see what else is happening. But certainly appreciate
Just
it.
cross your fingers for a long construction season this year.
Yeah, that's
They are patching 19 from north, the last couple of days, on every night.
And we also want to thank Beverly for coming out and explaining to the SWAT program that the district force put in on it. Thank you for letting us know that there is an outlet there to recognize the areas that people are concerned about and get in touch with you.
Absolutely, yes.
One thing I would like to do is I'd like to bring our permits person out next time we come, and explain the proper process for getting a permit for a driveway or an approach.
That'd be great.
I live on Route 250, and I know that there's got to be distances that you can be able to see and you got to get a permit to do that. It's got to be proper depth and drainage and all that, because I see a lot of the issues, including yesterday when I was looking at a complaint to me about the road conditions not far from where I live, and it showed a road that was built off of the main road, and all the mud and stuff came down off that and washed across the. I mean, I could show you on my phone how bad it looked. It wasn't the State Department Highway's problem, and it was caused by the individual that built a dirt road up the top, and it wasn't gravel, it washed all down across it.
Not the right way.
Well, they have
It wasn't anywhere for it to go except where it went. It brought mud and everything with it, and they were complaining about this is what the road looks like after it rains. That was the argument. Well, I can see why it happened. And
like
yet,
I say, that's the landowner's problem. You know, it becomes a public problem. And
it
our
certainly
problem
does.
is
If it's a public problem that goes across the road, you got 25 families that live up there. And they're not going to, they complain because the water's going across the road. Well, I can see why. And not only across, it went down the road about 30, 40 yards before it went across the road.
The damage it causes to the highway system and also the icing and the dangerous spots in the wintertime, it's a constant maintenance problem. So if we can get a lot of those fixed or get some help getting those fixed, it'll be a big improvement too.
Is there a process for obtaining those permits, or perhaps getting the ones that are already in place that are causing problems? What are the remedies for that?
There is, if there is one actually out there causing a problem, we try to get the county supervisor to go out and talk to the landowner and resolve it first there. If it can't get resolved, then there's a whole obstruction process that we can go through to try to get them to fix it. And if they don't fix it, we can actually go out and fix it and then through that process. We never want to get to that point at all. There's a lot of unpermitted driveways that have just been there for forever and ever. I mean, one thing I learned when we got into this process is if the property changes hands, you're supposed to reapply for a new permit every time the property changes hands.
Well, I didn't know that.
I didn't know that when we started either, by any means. So, like I said, I think it'd be very beneficial to get Tara out here to give that presentation and then help educate people on the process. So.
That's great. Anytime you buy a new home, you have to have electrical inspection, a plumbing inspection, a house inspection. Why not a driveway inspection? That'd be a good part of the process. Certainly. I live on that country road. Believe me, we've got